Well, hello, Husker Meat Fluencer followers. It's been a minute, so I'm going to do a Sunday night reward. We've been traveling a lot, been eating out, but tonight we're staying home. And I brought out from the freezer a Wild Fork USDA Prime Beef Tomahawk Ribeye. Remember, Wild Fork just joined as a sponsor of Husker Meat Fluencer about a month and a half ago, right here in Florida. They source their meat from right in the Midwest, Nebraska, Iowa region, grain-fed, and this is prime. I also have a choice one in the freezer that I'll be doing later, but I wanted to start with the prime because quite often, sometimes I think it's worth it, sometimes I don't, but we're gonna see. The color is amazing. It's pretty thick, so it's gonna take a little bit of a cook. I put a rack down on a cookie sheet. We're gonna bring this out to room temperature over the next hour or so. I'm gonna use some soy and A1 as a binder, and then just straight Montreal and garlic. Nothing fancy today. Just get that nice salt, pepper, garlic, get a crust on it. I put a rack in here so a little air can get underneath it. I'm gonna season all sides, but I think it's important to put this little rack underneath it. Oftentimes people just put it in a pan or a cookie sheet without anything underneath it. And the underneath doesn't get the air, so it doesn't quite get the crust that you're looking for as it starts to sweat. So we'll show you how it's going throughout the cook. Okay, just want everybody to see the color since it's out of the wrap. And another important step that a lot of people skip that I think is vital, especially when it's a thick cut of meat, is you want to pat this dry. I just did it with some paper towels, but you want to get as much moisture out of the meat before it cooks and before you put the seasoning on. Moisture will screw up your timing in your cook. So dry it as much as you can, flip it over, pat it down nice and dry, and then add your seasoning. Okay, so been letting it sit out for about an hour. And as you can see, it's still not at room temperature. It's only 55 in the middle, so. But it's all right to put it on when you're smoking it if the internal is a little lower because we're gonna do it slow and low. But take a look at the seasoning, how it's already starting to form. That's what I wanted. That's why we got it patted dry, a little bit of the binder, and just let the seasoning get into the edge of all edges of that meat. And that's gonna give us that nice crust that we're gonna want when we sear this. We're gonna open up a bottle of ZD Cabernet. If you're not familiar with ZD, as I wasn't until I went out to Napa, it's absolutely fantastic. So we got the ZD glass, the ZD cab, and even the ZD opener. So thanks, guys. All right, it is time to put her in. We got the Pit Boss rolling at 250. And we will put this up on the top rack. Roll that nice smoke rolling. And we'll let that smoke away till we get an internal of around 128 to 130. Remember, go grab yourself Temp Spike. Tempspike.com. Thanks for being a sponsor, guys. And we'll check in a little bit. Okay, guys, so we've got an internal right now. It says about 127. So let's open up, take a peek. We haven't opened it up since. Look at that. That's a thick, thick tomahawk. But now it is time to sear this puppy. And we got this one over here rolling almost a little over 550. So this is going to be nice and hot. We are going to just take this old bad boy, put it right on that heat. Close that up and give that a nice sear. And one of the great things about reverse searing, guys, is what we talked about earlier about trying to build that crust. It starts with making sure with the proper seasoning and the resting before, but also resting after. So as you can see from the Temp Spike, we haven't opened up the smoker at all, but it was 127. 140 is what they say is medium rare. Remember, guys, we want to pull this thing out around 132, 133, because it's going to continue to cook when we go put it rest under some foil and butter. And one thing about reverse searing, guys, doing it on the grill is easy, but you can also do this on a cast iron, and then you got the basting with the butter and all of that too. But sometimes that adds a little too much complexity for me in the flavor. So tonight I just wanted to go straight, since this is a prime cut, I want to just taste the meat. So that's what we're doing here. So it doesn't take long. And when it's this thick, don't be afraid to turn it often. You look at already some of that nice grill marks there. So it doesn't take long to get a crust. I love shutting it up, guys, just because it keeps the heat trapped. You can also already see it went from 560 down to 400 just by opening the door. The other thing about reverse stirring when you have a thick cut of meat like this is we want to make sure we do the edges. So we'll show you what that looks like in just a sec. All right. Now guys, you need one of these gloves. It's a safety product. Go get it. Slap My Meat, glove.com. Thanks for being a sponsor, Husker Meatfluencer. What I'm talking about, guys, is make sure you get the edge when it's this thick. Then you can take a check look at the temperature right now. We're doing all right. But without this glove, I wouldn't be able to hold it over the fire like this. Make sure you get the sear, not just on the sides, but on the edge itself. So check the temp right there. We got to pull it. So now it is ready to be pulled. Bye-bye grill. All right, so as you guys know, I love this product here. Churned truffle butter. They also make a shallot and garlic that I've used before. Finishing butter is not required. Remember I was talking about I just want the flavor of the meat, so you don't want to put too much of this on. But what this will do is it will give it a little bit of hint of the truffle. And of course, everything's better with butter. So we'll let this thing rest a little bit. I am going to tent it. Guys, I don't know if you guys seen this board. Look how thick that is. My very good friend, Lisa Sawyer's brother, made this for me. I just love this cutting board. Love it so much. So we'll show you the cut in just a little bit. Okay, now, so this is a sight. Nice thick Tomahawk. Wonderful bottle of ZD Cab. Let's give it a slice and see. Moment of truth. Okay, let me know your thoughts. I love medium rare, and that is rare to medium rare all throughout. It was pretty thick. So everybody knows the rules. One bite. Here we go. That's a good looking piece. All right, guys. You know me, I tell the truth. That's money. So far, prime is worth it. It's a beautiful taste, beautiful flavor. The crust came out exactly what I wanted. It's hard to see on the video, but you can kind of hear, you see on the crust there, it gives it a nice little pop too. And thanks for watching.